All right, so this one we have Anglia Sculpture Park. The entrance is here. Then to the left, we have Visitor Center. Notice that it says you are here. This is very important because you need to know where we are so that when they say go left, you know where your left is. So it's always important to know your starting point. So we are here at the Visitor Center. Then from the entrance, if you take your right, you'd get to the car park. Over here, we have the Education Center. We have a bridge here. We have the lower lake. Here we have some steps, the upper lake, and you can see some trees. Then all these dotted lines are footpath. Okay, so you have one that takes you to the bridge in between the lower lake and the upper lake. You have one that goes here, and then you have one that goes right up to A over here. So always be sure to take a good look at everything on your map before the recording starts to play. If not, you might not be able to keep up. Now we are supposed to label a few places. Number 1, Joe Tremain sculptures. 18, Giorgio Catalucci bird structures. Number 19, Garden Gallery. 20, the Longhouse. Okay, so just 4 places. So let's start.
Answer questions 17 to 20.
Now, let me just tell you a bit about what you can see in the sculpture park. If you look at your map, you'll see the visitor centre, where we are now, at the bottom, just by the entrance. Since we only have an hour, you might not be able to get right around the park, but you can choose to visit some of the highlights. You might like to take a look at the Joe Tremain sculptures, which are displayed on this side of the upper lake, just behind the Education Centre and near the bridge. They're really...
So it's on this side of the upper lake and it's just behind the Education Center and near the lake, near the bridge. But the most important thing is that it's on this side of the upper lake and it's just behind the Education Center. Okay, that is E. All right, guys, so I finished making this video and I realized that after I explained number 17, the mic stopped working. So I am just going to explain to you how I came about the last 3 answers, okay? So you might be able to tell that this is a different day altogether. I couldn't do it on the same day. So I'm just here to explain from 18 to 20. Okay.
Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
Now, let me just tell you a bit about what you can see in the sculpture park. If you look at your map, you'll see the visitor centre, where we are now, at the bottom, just by the entrance. Since we only have an hour, you might not be able to get right around the park, but you can choose to visit some of the highlights. You might like to take a look at the Joe Tremain sculptures, which are displayed on this side of the upper lake, just behind the Education Centre and near the bridge. They're really impressive, but please...
So on the upper side of the lake, just behind the Education Center and beside the lake, we've done this already. So we're actually paying attention for number 18 now, okay? The Giorgio Catalucci bird sculptures.
Remember not to let your children climb on them. One of our most popular exhibitions is the Giorgio Catalucci bird sculptures. They're just across the bridge on the north side of the lower lake.
So they're just across the bridge on the north side of the lower lake. So this is the lower lake. So let's say you're coming from here and you cross the bridge. you're going to see the bird sculptures at the north side of the lower lake.
The way they're scattered around in the long grass beside the lake, looking as if they're just about to take to their wings. You could also go to the garden gallery. It's on this side of the upper lake. From the visitor centre, you go to the education centre, then keep on along the path and you'll see it on your right. There's an exhibition of animal carvings there, which is well worth a look.
Okay, so they said from the visitor center, get to the education center and continue along the path there and you see it on your right. So if you're on this path, F is actually really the only place on your right. Okay, so visitor center, education center, continue along the path and you see it on your right.
We also have the Longhouse. That's quite a walk. From here, you go to the bridge and then turn left on the other side. Soon you'll see a winding pathway going up towards the northern boundary of the park. Go up there and you'll find it at the top. They have...
Okay, so he started from the bridge, okay? So cross the bridge and go left. This is left. Then shortly afterwards, you'd see a winding path. You can see it here. So go up there and you will get to the longhouse at the top.
Some abstract metal sculptures that are well worth seeing if you have time. Okay, well, now...
All right, so that is it. The Joe Tremain sculptures are at E, behind the education center. The Giorgio Catalucci bird sculptures are at C, the north, just to the north of the lower lake. The garden gallery is at F, on the right of this path, and then Longhouse is at the end of the winding path. Okay.